All right, so put retina burning red away. I don't want to see it because I don't want you working on it right now. I want you working on the notes because we're going to do some more notes on this law of sines versus law of cosines stuff. Okay? So, first off, just a quick reminder that the test is going to be on the 27th of February. And on said 27th of February, you have a full and complete list of all things pink that will be due. Okay? Along with your corrections to retina burning red and your corrections to next Tuesday's formative also. I think that one's on Tuesday. Okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things that are due on Tuesday. Okay? Just so you are aware of all of the things that you need to get done within the next week and a half. Okay? So when we, so now that we have the law of sines, which we had discovered, we first discovered last week, Friday, a week ago today, and then we did the ambiguous case to the law of sines on Tuesday of this week, and then yesterday we discovered the law of the cosines. So now that we've got both of those tools in our toolbox, now we got to figure out when to use which one. Okay? So, if we're going to use the law of sines, you have to have an angle and its opposite side. You have to know them. Be given them. Okay? And then, but the cautionary tale of that is that you will never find an angle larger than 90 degrees using sine. Okay? So you need to find the smallest angle first. How in a triangle, refresh my memory, how do I know which angle is the smallest? Cross the opposite the smallest side. Yes. Alright. Okay. Okay. So we find the smallest angle first. Okay. And we also have to be careful in law of sines with the ambiguous case. So we got to check for that each and every time. But that's only if we are given what? Only time that there's an ambiguous case. When we're given, what 3 things are we given? When you're dealing with your angle side. Okay? Only if you're dealing with your angle side. Okay? Alright? Law of cosines. You're going to use the law of cosines if you are given side or side angle side. Those are the only 2 cases that you're going to use the law of cosines. Because otherwise, you're given that complete fraction for the law of sine. And let's be honest, law of sines is easier. 100% law of sines is easier. Okay? Alright? We're going to use the law of cosines to find the largest angle first, because cosine gives us an obtuse angle, if we have one. But it's not necessarily always going to be an obtuse angle. Okay? And as I told my classes yesterday, memorize the pattern, don't memorize the actual law of cosines. The pattern is oops, I spelled letter wrong. The same letter bookends the law of cosines. And then the other two letters are in here twice. So if I had triangle XYZ, because it's different than triangle ABC, and I want you thinking differently, if I have triangle XYZ, if I'm going to have x squared here, that means I'm going to end with the cosine of x there. And in between would be y squared plus z squared minus 2yz times the cosine of x. What's up?
So we're gonna memorize that.
We're not going to give it to you.
We're not gonna use
Okay? But again, don't memorize the formulas. Memorize the pattern. It's much easier with the pattern. Okay? All right, let's put it to work. So there's law of cosines on the regular scale, but again, we're memorizing the patterns. Book-ended letters. Other two letters are used twice. Okay? All right, here we go. Triangle LRH has those three sides. You find me angle L, angle R, and angle H. Should have changed it to S, but forgot. Which angle are we going to find first? Angle H, because H is the biggest. Okay? Right? So H squared is going to equal L squared plus R squared minus 2LR cosine of H. Okay?
So this is the other law of cosine.
Which one?
The one where it's like the cosine equals the
That one?
plus.
But that one's harder. That's another thing you'd have to memorize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if I did memorize it.
But if you did, you can.
It's just the same thing.
Yep. Yep. So then this is 50 squared. And that's going to equal 40 squared plus 24 squared minus 2 times 40 times 24 times the cosine of H. So then we would have to subtract off 50 squared and or 40 squared. So that's great. No, I want so hold on. That's so come on, here we go. 50 squared minus 40 squared minus 24 squared is going to be 324. And that is going to equal 2 times 40 times 24 would be negative 1,920 cosines of H. Breaks. Okay, divide both sides by negative 1,920 then the inverse cosine of I get that angle H is 99.72 degrees. Yes? Okay. Now that we have that, I'm going to leave that on my calculator, not going to round that one bit. So now I can say that the sine of 99.7151 degrees divided by side H is equal to, does it matter which one I go with now? They're both going to be acute, right? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Does not matter. But we'll stick with the theme of going small. Okay. So then that's going to be 50 sines of capital R is 24 sines of 99.7151. So I need to go 24 times the sine of that answer. Then I need to divide that by 50. Then I need to take the inverse sine of that. I get angle R here is 28.24 degrees. That gives me angle L is 52.05 degrees. Would you agree with those three? Okay. Any questions on that? Is that the only one? Oh, look at that. That was the only one for today. All right. So I'm going to give you the remaining last part of this mod to be working on all things pink. Or you could fix your retina burning red formative. Okay? But I want you working. I don't want you on phones. I want you working on stuff.
Thanks.